Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about gardening expectation versus reality. We see a lot of nice gardeners and a lot of blog posts, a lot of things about how plants make you happy. So this is a video to bust that myth that yeah, okay, greenery makes everyone happy, but it also means that you have a lot of work behind it, and most days it doesn't look this pretty. So gardening might look like this, but in reality it is something like this. So yeah, of course, gardening makes our lives better. It's such a lovely small pieces of joy that is there. I mean, so beautiful, right? So very beautiful. But most days it's figuring out why is this not growing well. Gardening on most days feels like I'm a crazy person trying to save a plant. Guess what plant this is? This is Pileia peperomioides. I've been giving my hair out, thinking, why did it suddenly start dropping on leaves? Initially it was the transportation shock, and then I thought maybe the soil got infected because nurseries often give soil that might come with an infection. So I opened the soil up. The soil was very muddy. There was no infection at all, but it was muddy. It was retaining a lot of moisture. I changed the soil and realized that it's still dropping leaves like anything. Just a few moments before the last leaf dropped. So leaf curling is usually sign of lower humidity. So right now I'm not even switching on the AC or anything. I mean, the humidity is pretty good, I would say. It's not yet full-fledged winter. I don't know what the heck is wrong with this. I don't even know if it will survive. But I'm hopeful that there is a little bit of growth. I don't know if you can see it. So there are a lot of roots coming out. Maybe it will survive. It has roots. I repotted it in a smaller pot and with well-draining mixture. So this plant is driving me crazy. This is how a gardener's life looks like. Why it's not flowering, why this is dead, why this is that, why. Yeah, we only tend to post good green pictures on Instagram and YouTube channels and everywhere else. It's really not always shiny. I don't think it's really true for anyone. I mean, most days we just, if you see nice pictures on Facebook and everywhere else and you're thinking that, okay, why are my plants not that well? Think that they probably have potted recently, or they're showing the better side of the plant when the plant is doing well. So one more such other plant which has been racking my head on how to take care of it is a peace lily plant. I could not figure out how to take care of it. It looked dull, it looked sad, it was not giving out any new growth. I mean, I changed the position of light, I increased the watering frequency, but it was just not doing well. So I saw somewhere peace lilies were also used in terrarium, so they are very well adept to being grown in water medium only. So I decided to put it in. Okay, so you see, I am trying to propagate Pileia peperomioid leaves. So anyways, leaving this aside for now. This, in just 2 days of keeping in water, it started growing out new growth. There are at least 1, 2, 3, 4. So in at least Kolkata-like weather, I would say, like I would recommend, if your peace lily is not doing well and you're having trouble with this apparently very easy to care plant, but it seems like very moody to me in my location or whatever. I've kept it in east facing window where it gets a little bit of early morning light. I don't know whether it will flower or not. Couple of weeks down the line, I will probably dip it in fertilizer solution and see whether it flowers even or not. Just figuring this out. So most days are like this, but some days are happy because I finally figured out what makes this plant happy. Uh, this plant is happy when it's dipped in water. Apparently, it pushes out so many new growths. Ignore the blackheads. These are old black points, by the way. So I've always told that peace lilies, with peace lilies I've always had a problem because you see the black tips. Black tips means overwatering, but peace lilies also droop when they want water. So it's very confusing. I only water when it droops, but it still gives out black. Then I read somewhere that uh, you have to use filtered water because they're very susceptible to kind of like the salt deposits in water, hard water that we generally get. But turns out even that didn't help. So at that point, this seemed to work. So I'm quite excited about it. There's a new leaf coming here. There are many branches coming from down. I don't know what's happening. So it's just happy suddenly. And I will. Why? This used to be Pilea peppermoids. It has a lot of growth coming out, but I'm not quite sure on whether any one of them will survive or not, and it's the stuff of nightmares. It's just a lot of insecurities, but sometimes plants respond so well with a change that you've done. But there's so many new growths, so many new growths. I mean, I can't even begin to see the amount of new growths. Apparently, peace lily does well in direct water better than in soil condition, especially at my place. So yeah, that's pretty much how it is. Gardening helps you, but before you commit your entire time to it, uh, keep in mind that there is a lot of work that goes on behind that as well, and it might end up being a stuff of nightmares if you can't put in that time and you start killing off plants. It might just end up being a source of sadness instead of a source of inspiration. So you have to, for example, for the amount of plants I have, I think I spend quite a bit of time, tracked the time recently. So at least half an hour every day is spent on plants somehow, indirectly, directly, whether looking for it or watering it or inspecting it or something like that. And on weekends, there's a lot of cleaning that needs to be done because there's soil and dust everywhere, and there's a lot of spraying and fertilizing that goes on. This is what a gardening chore looks like. Fertilizing all the plants, bringing all the plants outside, fertilizing them, spraying them so the infestation doesn't spread. And this is not even all my plants, this is just what I could fit into this balcony. There are more inside, and there's more in another balcony. So the purpose is not to scare you, but to let you know that this is what life of a gardener is if there are so many plants, and it's just not that easy to do it. I mean, I still don't have, it's 3 p.m. and I have not had lunch. Actually, it's about to be 4 p.m. I forgot that it's one more hour. So I still have to spray with neem oil, so it means that I'm getting lunch at 4:30, and I'm drenched in sweat and I'm hungry. And I told you I'm gonna keep this channel real, and what I'm gonna show you is this is what it looks like. It's not all green and glory. To maintain this green and glory, you really have to take care of your plants. And the birds have arrived because they want to eat. I am hungry still, so yeah.
So before you add on too many plants and you're not able to care for them, uh, see to it that it's a commitment and it's not just gonna go away. You're gonna have to do this at least every month once, and every couple of weeks you're gonna have to put in some amount of time like this. So weekend at least a couple of hours goes there at least. So you can say that you have to devote quite a bit of time, and if you don't have that kind of time, it might be a little bit tough. And I sometimes miss watering plants, and they get sad. And hopefully they recover most of the time. Sometimes they don't because of my mistakes, and it's just how it is. This these are some of the plants that have made it very possible for me to be the lazy gardener. That's why I talk a lot about philodendrons, because I think philodendrons are the beauty that doesn't need water, that doesn't need care. I have not watered this guy for 7 days. It still looks beautiful. Similarly, another one I have, Brazil philodendron bunch. Whereas there are some varieties of philodendrons that are very, touchy-feely. I would say Micans is one of them, and that is one of them. So you have to choose what you're caring for. On east-facing window, I started giving out new growth. Diphylacea tiki. Here is the new growth coming out. And the leaves are so fascinating with polka dots or something. And these guys are insane. These guys are growing. I had to repot this uh, monster Aaronsonii. I had to repot these guys because they're growing like crazy. This is one pot. This is another pot. The propagated one branch on the right side has started growing tremendously. You can see this is the main branch, the large leaves, and the smaller leaves are the propagated branch. And they have also started giving out immense growth. There are new leaves coming every week. So these are the plants that don't need my attention, and I plan to focus on these plants because I can't devote so much of time after everything. So I made this small spool kind of thing with rope recently and tied it, and I just plan to make this plant a lot bushier by using pinning method here. If you can see the pins, I don't know, this is the pin. I know plant care is expensive. I mean, you have to spend some money if you want good quality leaves and good quality leaves, flowers, and everything, seeds and soil. You have to invest in soil, so it's an investment as well. So I think I at least spent $1,000 at least every month on something or the other. There's one need or the other. Like either you need a pot, or you need soil, or you need plants, or you need a rack for the plants, or you need a basket for the plants, and then you need pesticides for the plant. So it goes on for a long time. Once I buy it, it goes on for a long time. But this what I've seen for the last 1 year is that once you start expanding your plant collection, you have to invest that. So it's an investment as well. I mean, maybe if you do that from local university, it will be much cheaper, but investment is there. It's time consuming, and sometimes it doesn't give you the results that you need. So be careful at what kind of plants you choose. If you are not at home for long, and if you have other commitments and all of that, uh, foliage plants are very good for you. All the philodendrons are good for you. All the pothos is good for you. Sansevieria, this guy is growing so tall. It's going somewhere, but doesn't require any care at all. So that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. These are the plants that are very good. I would say syngoniums, and then there's some plants that are very dramatic like Fitonias. They seem very dramatic, but they bounce back very well, and they give you a clear indication that they need water. So I think Fitonias would also be a very good plants for you if you don't like to care for plants every day. Flowering plants all require watering every alternate day at least, fertilizing and all of that. And they require sun, they require space, they require all of that. So if you don't have all of those things, flowering plants might not be a good idea. Uh, again, I think Dieffenbachia is another plant. If you have an east facing window or a balcony, this plant is very good. This plant or any form of Dieffenbachia or dump plant is very good. Other than that, I would specific mention to stay a little bit away from calatheas. I've not been able to figure out how to take care of them. They need a lot of investment. They are like the fuzziest plants I've ever taken care of right after succulents. So it's a challenging plant. Calatheas and those group of plants are challenging plants. It requires attention. Some days it was doing well. Just when the humidity started dropping right now in the last 1 week, it's suddenly just not doing well. That's what it is. I can't figure out what happens next. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I will wrap up this video. Basically, reality and expectations are two different things. Keep in mind before getting into full-fledged gardening and turning your house into a green thing. See you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out my Facebook and Instagram page. Follow and like that page.